Hey there, this is Derek from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan. We're taking a look at a Toyota Crown, this one here, the station wagon version, rear-wheel drive, inline six-cylinder, 1JZ, single turbo engine. That's I guess 300 horsepower, officially 280 horsepower, but 280 to 300 horsepower, inline six-cylinder. Same engine as in the Chaser, the Mark II, the Cresta, but in this case, in an estate vehicle. And these, super duper fun, excellent cars. Double wishbone suspension front and rear, make them feel more nimble than you would think for a vehicle of this size. Now this engine, don't think that the 280 horsepower makes the car feel slow. These days 280 doesn't seem that high. It does feel great to drive though. Very smooth, and very nice revving at higher RPM, and an excellent engine. I highly recommend. Now, of course, a lot of other people highly recommend them as well, so prices tend to be a little bit pricey. This one here is going to be heading over to the USA under the 25-year import regulations, and so somebody in Tacoma is going to be driving around this lovely vehicle. 85,000 original kilometers and one owner prior to selling it at auction from where we purchased it from. Now, it's had the timing belt changed, which is always a good sign if it's changed before 85,000. In this case, changed in 2013 at 53,000 kilometers. The oil and the coolant have been checked, and those appear to be okay. So I'm just going to close the hood. It does have an aftermarket exhaust on it, so I'll give you a quick little listen. It is a fairly quiet one. I believe it might be Tom's brand. Okay. And we'll switch the engine off for the rest of the report. So first things first, let's take a look at the auction inspection sheet. This is the information given to us. Sorry, guy. I didn't leave you very much space. Information given to us from the auction. So the seller gets to write some stuff, and then the auction inspector gets to write some stuff. So it's a year 2000 Toyota Crown Estate, Athlete V with a 2500cc engine, auction grade 3.5 with an interior grade C with sunroof on this model. They seem to be fairly popular with the sunroof. Alloy wheels. It says alloy wheels. That would be the stock alloy wheels, which are in the car right now. I'll show you in a sec. On the car, though, these lovely 18-inch BBS LM wheels. A classic wheel on pretty much any car that you can put them on. Okay, power steering, power windows, airbag, one owner, 1JZ turbo engine. Prime engine. Love it. First time at auction. Original wheels are inside the vehicle. Warranty papers, spare key are going to be sent to the buyer. And then the report here. So it says interior wear, scratched, dirty, animal hair, and stain. It's honestly not too bad. I wouldn't worry about any of those things, really. The steering wheel cracked and peeling. Yeah, steering wheel's in pretty bad shape. You probably want to get a replacement. Shouldn't be hard to find a Crown replacement. Between the estate version and the sedan version of the Crown, there were plenty of them sold. Aftermarket exhaust with a question mark. Yes, it is aftermarket. Wheels scratched. Fair enough. They've been on there for a while, no doubt. And left rear fender has been replaced. Now, notice this is an auction grade 3.5, not an R grade, so it's not technically been repaired from an accident. But the back door and the fender were both replaced. So what this means is the car was likely in a bump, and all of the replaced parts were the outside, and there's no damage to the frame at all. And so it's probably a scrape down the side, and they were like, no, let's just replace this. Most likely it was done a good long time ago when this was a newer car and those sorts of parts were available OEM, and it was probably an insurance claim. Okay, so what's going on here? Various scratches, dents, and repair marks. There's a repainted door here. And I must say, the repair looks really good, and the paint looks really good for the repair. And so nothing on here actually concerns me all that much. And then an A2 scratch on the other side still there, and the back bumper has the brunt of the damage with an AU3. There's also a rock chip on the windshield. I don't even know where that would be. Rock chips are teeny tiny, and they're nothing that I would really worry too much about. Drive camera on this one too. Drive recorder. Okay, so let's go for a tour of it. And I love the shape of these. I love the boxy feel of them. I love how the Toyota Crown, more than any other Toyota, feels more like a Lexus. You know, a lot of car makers, Toyota being one of them, is going to have higher end models, lower end models, and there are subtle differences between them that it really makes it feel more premium. And the Crown absolutely does. This feels of the same build quality as, for example, the LS 600 of the same generation, or the Land Cruiser, or even the Toyota Hiace. Speaking of Land Cruiser. Yes, and the Celsior. Celsior is the LS400. But here we're looking at the Crown. You don't get the 1JZ engine in a ton of cars. I kind of wish you got it in more cars. I kind of wish Toyota's making a new version of the 1J, but alas, an inline 6-cylinder is an engine configuration that you don't see very often these days. Inline is quite long, and most cars nowadays are just shorter and packaged differently. So there are some manufacturers who are still doing an inline 6. Most of them have changed over to a V6, which many car enthusiasts are going to tell you the inline 6-cylinder has a very unique and smooth running feeling that you just don't get from other engine configurations.
Want to see us having fun in Japan? Go check out our new channel. Link in the description.
Okay, so let's have a look at details here. I've always liked the grille. I like how the grille has a body color garnish around it. And so it has a really nice kind of, I guess at the time it would have been considered a modern look to it. And a sporty-ish front bumper, again, comparing it to at the time. Nowadays, this is a classic car. Headlights are cloudy, as with pretty much any plastic headlights that are more than about 15 years old. Here on the side a little bit more. Okay, and the front bumper has some scrapes in it, so you can see here. And down here. And there's some touch-up paint that's been added on right there. Okay, the vehicle is really dirty, it needs to be cleaned up properly, but that's for you to do once you receive the vehicle. Coming down here, you can see the quality of the paint. Now this was a repaint. It looks to have been done really well. Here you can see some scratches on the edge of the mirror. This is the door that was replaced. Okay, opening and closing function is fine. All panel gaps on this door look to be okay. There is a little bit of a chip right here. You probably want to touch up paint that. And then for being a replaced fender, I'm not seeing anything like paint blend lines in this area here, and no issues with lining up. And so I think we're looking pretty good. The rear bumper has a decent amount of damage on it, probably the worst damage on the car. Like I said, this thing here, it's not attached properly. This is a dealer optional piece. It is not on all of them, and it has taken some damage and it's probably not repairable. The good news is you can just take that off and it will look like any other Crown station wagon on the road. Okay, Crown Estate badging. Athlete V, which means the turbo. The V is for the turbo. I'm not sure what the SEV is here. And then Tom's might have been badging that comes with the exhaust. Or they might have made their own badging out of some, I don't know. The Tom's one, I think it is with the triangular apostrophe there. We have Japan Automobile Federation, 20-year member, 30-year member, and Golden Retriever. So if you're looking for that animal hair inside the vehicle, Golden Retriever, Dog Lovers Collection by Field Point since 1998. Not so sure about that. Probably take all these guys off unless you really want to be JDM. So yeah, besides this section here, the back bumper has a dent here, and which has cracked the paint around this area, and then a scuff around the corner here. Typically these Crowns can take a lot more damage than most cars before they start showing it. And I'd say that they're a bit of a safer car to buy than most of the other ones. Edge of the door has maybe a few little chips. Not too bad. Door handles have a bit of chrome fade. And it's not really chrome, it's electroplating, but looks like chrome. Okay, so yeah, for the most part, all our body panels are looking good, just that back bumper. And I'm just noticing this now, a little bit of fade on the chrome garnish up here. Okay. And yeah, those BBS wheels. Totally digging those. Those wheels just look great on everything, don't they? Open up the hatch, and hatch opens a little bit odd. Just pops a little bit weirdly. You probably wouldn't notice it unless you've opened many of these hatches and you know what it feels like I do. This one has the dealer optional black plastic scuff piece for the Crown Estate. It has a logo in the middle. I'd show you, but it's full of the original wheels and tires in here, which we can swap onto the car if you want, but the BBSs, even if they have a few scratches on them, are going to be the ones that you want, in my opinion. Has the tonneau cover. In here, I'd show you, but again, we got wheels and tires. And then take a look, it's got those half lace seat covers that everybody loves. Totally a Japanese thing. A little bit of dirtiness up here. It's really not too bad. Close that up. Easy closer there, so you can't accidentally close it not far enough to completely latch. As soon as it hits the sensor, then it grabs it in. It's a bunch of Toyotas have that on the sliding doors and whatnot. But it was again, a premium thing when this first came out. So door cards looking pretty normal. I think they feel good. The ergonomics of them are good. This feels nice and solid. It's not wiggly like the Soarer ones are. Here's our half seat covers. Yeah, I'm not sure whose idea it was and who was copying who, but it became a thing to have the seat covers only on the top half and made out of this doily-like lace material. Usually it has the logo for the type of car in here or a Toyota logo or something. I believe these are OEM ones, but they don't have those logos. Come in here, your pillow is nice and soft all the way around, or your armrest, if you want to call it that. I'm a father, and so it's the pillow most of the time. Cup holders there in the center. A little bit of a dirty seat here because somebody's golden retriever was in here, but it honestly doesn't look too bad. You expect when you see in the auction sheet that it has hair inside for it to be so much worse than this, and it's not. And these seats, nice and comfortable. They're firm and yet feel soft, and they have plenty of leg room for even larger adults in here. You also have controls for the passenger seat, and this is a crown thing, so you can move the seat forward and back and tilt as well. You also have your own little lights here, and you have an input here for the tonneau cover. And so you don't have the option for this one, but there's a dog screen that you can clip into here. Seems to be fairly rare on the Crowns. Not like the Legacies. There's plenty of them on Legacies. We have an Acura TSX in the lot right now. Cool, man. Okay, into the driver's section. Door card, a little bit dirtier. Not too bad. All the power windows are fine. The seat makes a weird sound when it moves. Only makes a weird sound when it moves the first time, or might do it intermittently. It sounds fine now. Your seat cover needs to be washed. That's fairly dirty. Around the hair it's dirty. And there are your seats. A good place to be for a longer trip, I would suspect. I have not driven one of these on a longer trip. Of course, I have driven them around town. Steering wheel here has shift yourself buttons, which is pretty cool. It's only a 4-speed automatic, so you don't get to shift all that much. And then a decent amount of peeling on the leather here. That's all repairable. But this one has... Oh no, I thought it had like wooden sections. So I guess this is the cracked area. I don't see anything in the wood sections for cracks. No, it looks okay. The gauge set, let me just pop that key back in for you to see. I've always felt like this has been a little understated. It looks fine, but nothing special really, right? It was the era where you were, just starting to get something that looked a little bit more modern. And then the dashboard has some glue marks on it there. Something used to be attached to it. It has swing vents. Love it. You press this button and the vents will oscillate back and forth to make sure that your air is blowing around as you like it. Dual zone climate control, so left and right can set their own temperatures. I know today that you're getting that in many cars, but back during this time in the late 90s, it was something that was fairly modern and plush. Okay, buttons are in Japanese, but honestly, most of them are pretty fine. You'll just remember where they go. Aircon, audio, and then some of them are in English as well. Has an aftermarket system here for your CD player and Navi. I haven't opened it up, but this is the kind that will... And there will be a screen there. Ashtray. Some weird glue marks in there, but it doesn't look like it's been used. Yeah. It is behind a door, so if you're going to plug anything into there, you have to leave that open. I think there might be another one in here. Yes. There's another one right down in there. So I suspect that one could be used too. It says here, make sure you change your oil every 5,000 kilometers or 6 months, which in Japan is, most people are going to do that. It's very normal for Japanese people to do what they're told when they buy a car. And so they do that. Okay. Aftermarket lights up here. And look at this. I've never seen this. It's an aftermarket heads-up display. And it has a weird little RoboCop kind of monitor thing that what it'll do, it'll project something onto the screen so you can see how fast you're going. I didn't actually try it, but it is neat. I don't want it on my car, but, you know, weird little aftermarket gadget from the early 2000s in Japan. Oh, and I just noticed this a little bit of peeling around the power button and volume control. Inside smell is not bad. It doesn't smell of dogs, I wouldn't think. It probably needs a little bit of a cleaning. It just smells a bit like an old car that hasn't been cleaned in a while, but it's not distracting. Okay, we're at 16 minutes, which is a little long for these videos. Hope you stayed all the way until the end. If you did, that means I love you, and we'll just shut it off here. So thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.